Hey there, thanks for joining us on MCTV. I'm here with my friend Regina Brim. Regina is an activist as well. She has a blog called FroLiberty, and we're going to hear her story here today and hopefully teach you a couple things. All right, Regina, how are you doing?
I'm doing good.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you for the opportunity.
Of course. Let's get into your story because you are a cannabis activist as well.
Yeah.
And
FroLiberty is a blog I created basically looking at all aspects of the liberty community. You don't see a whole bunch of females active. You certainly don't see a whole bunch of black women active. And when you looked around, there was just kind of like me, so that's what I started. But cannabis, my advocacy for that started probably about 11 or 12 years ago. Right before Katrina, I had aneurysm surgery. It
pretty
was
severe aneurysm.
Pretty severe. The aneurysm was pretty large, and it was over my right optic nerve. 18 hours of surgery, 54 staples. We have some pictures I guess you can throw up afterwards.
Yeah, we're going to throw up some pictures to see. Pretty serious.
After the surgery, I was put on steroids for the swelling and a bunch of pain. I'm still in a bunch of pain. And my neurologist at the time gave me a fentanyl patch. And it was a godsend. I mean, slap it on, and I'd be pain-free for 3 days. Put on another patch. But there came to a point where if I didn't have that patch after 3 days, I started feeling sick. Mm-hmm. And at the time, my neurologist said that, oh, don't worry about it, you can't be addicted to it. And I was like, okay, well, the doctor said you can't be addicted, so I'm not going to worry about it. My mom came to visit me about 2 weeks before Katrina, and she's a nurse. And she said, no, it's garbage. You are addicted, and you look horrible. Well, when your mom kind of says something like that, you got to kind of check yourself a little bit. So in my infinite wisdom, the day of Katrina, I peeled off the patch. I had the 75 patch, and I had in my hands the script for the 100 patch to go up. Peeled off a chunk of skin, but all during Katrina, I was cold, I was hot, I was sick, and didn't know what it was. Well, now I know it's withdrawals. My husband at the time got me to my mom's, who I mentioned before was a nurse, and my urine was like syrup. I was cold, I was hot. I mean, I'd wake up screaming, and it took me probably about 2 weeks of withdrawals to be okay, to be level. But that was a hard lesson. I've spoken to other people who have used CBD and cannabis, and none of this happened. So, I mean, I don't know what my life would have been if I would have had that choice. Exactly. But the point was I didn't have that choice. Like I said, I am...
A lot of people don't.
Yeah.
You know, that's what problem that we're facing.
Especially here in our state. I mean,
exactly.
Mississippi is supposed to be, you know, the most defiant, you know, freedom, exactly. We'll do what we want state.
The rebels.
Exactly. And here we are sitting where there's a lot of people in serious pain.
Exactly. And getting addicted to these opioid medications for their pain, for these serious, you know, illnesses.
Absolutely, and the consequences thereof.
And I'm going to assume before you weren't a drug user.
Oh, absolutely
and
not.
And this was, you
absolutely
know, for a serious brain aneurysm. We're going to throw up some pictures because I'd like for you to see exactly, you know, what she went through.
Yeah.
And you chose to, how did you start medicating with CBD?
I tried a lot of things afterwards. After I got in the fentanyl, I was absolutely anti any pain, anything. Yeah. But sometimes a Tylenol just won't get it.
Yeah.
So a friend of mine said, well, why don't you check out CBD? And CBD, I know that's a catchword now. Everybody's got it.
Yeah.
And not all CBD is alike. Mm-hmm. So I was telling somebody on Facebook about, you know, I tried this, and it was like olive oil, and it really didn't do anything. And this woman contacted me and said, hey, I got this company called Liberty CBD out in California. Me and my friend started it because we're both vets, you know, and we wanted to kind of relieve people. Let me send you something. and I took it, and it is the best CBD out there.
I've actually tried it, and it is. I've tried several different CBDs, and this really is the best quality, product that I've tried.
Right, yeah. They also have gummies. They have a whole bunch of products, but like I said, it's refreshing to go to a company that wasn't business oriented, that was really like, tell me, what's going on with you. Let me see if I have a product that would meet your needs. That was a totally different experience. I'm sure a lot of people that are on Facebook saw that Facebook CBD oil, that everybody said, oh yeah, Tim McGraw was in. It was a scam, and you get it, and it was literally like watery olive oil and nothing. And compared to the Liberty CBD, it's
night and day.
Night and day,
Yeah.
night and day.
Exactly.
And the Liberty people have given me gummies. My 2 youngest children have Asperger's syndrome. My daughter takes it for anxiety. I mean, the swath of what this can relieve is huge. Like I said, I mean, I'd tell everybody to go ahead and check it out. We'll throw up some links at the end of it.
And so your children, they're taking this instead of these dangerous medications that are harmful, not only your liver, your kidneys, and all this, and the side effects outweigh the benefits.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
If you've looked at people that take medicine for anxiety, for seizures, the one thing the doctor will say is, every 3 or 4 months we need to come and look at your liver function. Well, that tells you that could be a danger, or your kidneys, or whatever. And think about it, you have a plant that grows naturally that we should, in our state, have not only the CBD from hemp, which is legal in all 50 states, but the full spectrum.
Exactly.
Okay? That there is no liver function, there is no addictive quality, there is no breathing suppression, which we have 50 or 60 people a day die of opioids because it affects
prescription.
Exactly, because that affects their breathing. CBD is none of that. Marijuana, or cannabis, it has none of that. Okay, and like I said, from my perspective right now, sitting and talking about it, it's not necessarily a drug issue, it's a freedom issue. If I'm in pain and I'm not harming you, I'm not harming anybody else, and it's not a danger to anybody else, shouldn't I have a choice, especially in the rebel state of Mississippi, to be able to use that medicine? It makes zero sense that that's not available. I mean, when we talk about stats, Mississippi has a huge military community, a huge vet, and every time you see these guys come out of the VA, there's huge bags, I mean almost shopping bags, full of aspirins or opioids or whatever. That makes no sense.
Yeah, it effectively treats PTSD.
Absolutely.
Associated, with coming back from war. I mean, you have these guys that are heroes here in our country and who fight for our freedoms to be able to sit here and talk, and they're telling you that this helps them,
Right.
and we're not making it available to them.
Absolutely. And I think the problem here in Mississippi is when we were growing up, when you think about cannabis, marijuana, you think of the Cheech and Chong, the guy getting stoned in the car. And it's not that at all.
Exactly.
It is doctors, lawyers, moms, fathers, grandfathers. They're saying, hey, I have pain and I want to be pain free. I don't want to be high, I don't want to be loopy, I want to be pain free.
Exactly.
And to have a certain quality of life. So I think we need to kind of move away from that stereotype.
Exactly.
And I encourage people when I do my videos, when I speak, when I write, don't just listen to what I say. I always include references. I always do your research.
Exactly. That's the hardest part, is getting people to actually look, and get outside of their bubble and research it themselves.
Right, and one of the great things I've learned about being in the Liberty movement or looking around or being an advocate is anytime there's opposition, you have to follow the money. Period.
Exactly.
So if you've ever been any of the on-call clinics or pain management, every Thursday and Wednesday and Thursday, they have, your pain clinics, and these guys are in there getting these huge bags and they're twitching and whatever. And that's Medicare, that's Medicaid. paying for the opioid crisis, okay? You know, or people strung out on the street or length. Okay, you don't see that with marijuana or cannabis at all. I mean, like I said, if we're talking, we're the rebel state. We want our freedoms. We want our choice. Put the drug issue out of it and say, I'm an adult. Shouldn't I have the right to make sure I'm taken care of in the manner in which I want to be taken care of? Period. End of discussion. You know, and I think that's what it comes down to. We need to not look at it certain ways. And if you hear something on TV, bad or good about cannabis, take it with a grain of salt, turn off the boob tube, do your research.
Think for yourself.
Exactly,
We're saying
exactly.
Get both sides of the story and then think for yourself. Don't just go with the crowd.
There is, the internet and Facebook can be used for good and bad. But one of the good things it can be used for is just type in something and you'll get two sides to everything.
Exactly.
All right? Go to Google, go to Brim, you know, say, all right, my symptoms are. And if it comes up with cannabis and something, see what it is. And every time you go, that's the other thing, every time you go and look at what the cannabis equivalent is for whatever you're going through, they'll always have the side effects. Maybe your mouth will be dry.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sleepy.
Maybe you'll be sleepy. But I'd certainly rather have my mouth dry where I gotta drink water and go to sleep than my liver fail.
A lot of the
You know?
anxiety medications give you cotton mouth. Not
Exactly.
to mention that, but a whole laundering list of side effects.
Absolutely.
The possible
Absolutely.
death being
Yeah.
one of them.
Yeah, you know, and the reality is if you look at statistically, okay, and that's a lot of what the anti-cannabis, there has not been a death from cannabis.
Exactly.
It's not how that medicine works. If you look at how the opioid system works as far as pain, it replaces stuff in your head, okay, and it relaxes. And part of what it can relax is your respiratory system, and that's how people die. Cannabis doesn't do that, okay? You could garner some of the same effects without dying, you know, and that's what we need to get across. You know, and I know a lot of people are probably watching this and going, but I heard. Okay, if you heard, I talk to people, you talk to people, anybody who is pro-cannabis here in this state has not a problem asking questions. I've openly said on my videos, I want people to interview with me that are anti-cannabis. I want to know why.
Exactly.
And my perspective is that I believe with every fiber of my being that cannabis is going to be legal here in Mississippi. That being said, I want everybody to be heard in this discussion.
Exactly.
It doesn't matter if you disagree with me. What are your problems? What are your worries? Are you worried about how it's going to be detected? Are you worried about kids getting a hold of it? The reality on that part is kids are getting it now with no regulation. They're buying it, you don't know what they're getting, okay? It can be regulated, bad, good, or different, just like alcohol. We wouldn't let a 15-year-old walk in and buy a 12-pack of beer, so we wouldn't let them walk into a store or a dispensary and buy cannabis,
Exactly.
period. You know, if your worries about detection, well, if you look at our stats here in Mississippi, today, there'll probably be 10 people that die on our highways from alcohol, okay? So our highway patrol, our local police are going to have to figure out a way that if somebody is driving altered in any way, that it can be detected.
Even nighttime cops.
Absolutely, absolutely. So like I said, my blog is called FroLiberty. If you are here in Mississippi and you are anti-cannabis and you want to talk on camera, contact me. It's not a hit piece. I just want to hear your point of view. I want people that want it legal to understand what your concerns are.
Exactly, yeah.
So, yeah.
Awesome. Well, thank you for talking with us today. And she has a code for Liberty CBD. If you guys want to check it out, it's...
Yeah, it is FroLiberty. It is a 10% and free shipping, one-time customer use. But like I said, this is the best product I have ever tried, and I tried a lot of them for CBD. Go ahead and check it out. And
So we go to libertycbd.com.
libertycbd.com.
And use FroLiberty.
That's correct.
We'll put that at the bottom of the screen also, as well as a link to the FroLiberty blog written by
Okay.
Regina. And she has some excellent points. And thank you again for coming and talking with us.
Okay,
You made some
thank you.
excellent points.
Thank you for the opportunity.
Of course.
Okay.
Thank you.